In order to find the magnitude and direction angle of a vector in IJ form, the first thing we need to do is we need to draw it out. You can do a lot of this in a calculator using a formula, but if you don't draw it, there's a good chance your angle will not be correct. So if we draw this out, we have essentially the component vector -2, -3. So if we go left 2, down 3, that's what our vector V looks like. So, and we can draw the triangle that goes with it. We know we went left 2, -2, down 3. So the first thing we need is the magnitude. Well, for the magnitude, that means we need this, the length of the vector. And this is where we drew a right triangle, so we can just use the Pythagorean theorem. So we have -2 squared plus -3 squared. Remember, when we also have those generalized formulas that you can just remember that magnitude is always equal to a squared plus b squared. Well, the square root of a squared plus b squared. So we do our Pythagorean theorem. We get 4 plus 9, which gives us 13. And then we have to take the square root of that. So our magnitude is root 13. And now we need the direction angle. So again, when we talked about the formulas, you might remember our direction angle, we have to do inverse tangent of b over a. The reason being, if you look at your picture, notice we need to solve for this angle in here. So to solve for that angle, we know the opposite, we know our adjacent, which means we're going to use tangent. So we know tangent of theta is equal to opposite over adjacent, and then in order to solve for theta, we have to take the inverse. So you can either have those formulas memorized or just draw your picture and use it. So we type that into a calculator. We're always going to want to be in degrees for all of these. So inverse tangent of 3 over 2 gives us 56.3 degrees. And now look at your picture and think for a second. Here's where it's really important to draw. Does it make sense that something in the third quadrant is just 56.3 degrees? It does not. So remember, 0 degrees is over here, start of the right axis. We solved for the reference angle. So here's where a little bit of our trig is still coming to help us. So now if we want to start at 0 and figure out how to get to that spot, well, we know a half circle is 180. So in this case, because we're in the third quadrant, we're going to have to do 180 plus 56.3 to get our actual direction angle. So in this case, we have a direction angle of 236.3 degrees. So make sure as you solve these, you're drawing a picture, check if your angle makes sense. Does it take you to the right quadrant? If it does not, then you'll end up either having to add or subtract from 180 or maybe subtract from 360.